Hello friends, welcome back to Lyceum of Politics and once again to the world of Western philosophy. Now today I will discuss the ideas of another very important Western philosopher, Jeremy Bentham, and his concepts of utilitarianism with you. So let's begin. Now, my friends, Jeremy Bentham was a renowned British political thinker who was born in London on 15th February 1748, and he belonged to a pretty rich and aristocratic family as his father was an attorney by profession. Now, Bentham was a prolific writer. He caught the attention of the people several times through his writings. Okay, some of the very renowned and important works of Bentham are, like as you can see on the screen, a fragment on government, defense of usury, essay on political tactics, an introduction to the principles of morals and legislation, the book of fallacies, and there are many, many more, I tell you. But he is basically known as the founder of modern utilitarianism. Okay. Now let's have a look at Bentham's ideas on utilitarianism. Now, Bentham says that nature has put mankind under two sovereign masters. What are they? They are pleasure and pain. With that, he assumes that man is by nature a pleasure seeker. That is, by his natural tendency, human beings always try to avoid pain and seek pleasure. And Bentham also says that it is indeed the duty of man to work for achievement of pleasure or reach up to the goal of happiness. Fine. The achievement of pleasure and avoidance of pain is something that a moral individual should always have in view. Now, in doing so, that is working to achieve pleasure, the choice of means for achieving this is not so important according to Bentham. Remember this, as this calls for a qualitative assessment of happiness. But to Bentham, the quantity of happiness is always more important than the quality. He is basically talking about maximization of utility. Whether an action is good or a bad one is determined by the consequence it brings. Okay? Just now, as we were talking about quantification of pleasure and quality of pleasure, all these things, right? So here you see that Bentham assumed pleasure and pain can be mathematically calculated. In estimating the amount of pleasure or pain in any particular action, we have to measure 7 factors or variables according to Bentham. What are those factors? The first one is intensity. That is, how strong is the pleasure? Then you see duration. How long will the pleasure last? Certainty. How likely or unlikely is it that the pleasure will occur? Then propinquity. How soon will the pleasure occur? Fecundity. The likelihood of further sensations of the same kind. Purity. The likelihood of not being followed by any opposite sensation. And last but not the least is extent. That is, how many people will be affected by this. Fine. He also says that pleasure and pain are of two kinds. Number one, simple pleasure and pain, and number two, complex pleasure and pain. The simple pleasures are pleasures like skill, good name, sense, wealth, amity, and many more. And in the same way, he enlists some simple pains like enmity, ill reputation, private pains, and some others like this. Okay? So, while talking about the theory of utilitarianism, Bentham also talked about the role of the state. Now, Bentham assumed the state as an evil, but a necessary one. That is, to him, the state is a necessary evil. This is necessary. Why? Because according to Bentham, the state can help to achieve the attainment of the greatest good for the greatest number of people, which to Bentham is the basic crux of utilitarianism. The state can play the role of an educator to those individuals who fail to reconcile their own pleasure with the others in the society. Beside that, he also advocated for reforms in the constitutional system of the country. Bentham prescribed for adult suffrage, annual selection of parliament, and then being in support of single chambered legislature, he was also in support of the abolition of the House of Lords. So Bentham also condemned the delay of the judicial procedure and asked for judicial reforms in the country also. In this connection, I may inform you that he was opposed to any kind of capital punishment and also the way the prisoners or the criminals were being kept behind the bars there. Therefore, he brought in the concept of Panopticon, which was a prison system. His basic intention was to monitor the prisoners with fewest possible guards and without letting the prisoners know that when are they monitored. In this way, Bentham feels that the prisoners would discipline themselves as somebody might be watching them. They will always think that yes, I am being watched at any part of the day, so I have to be disciplined throughout the day. Okay? So, friends, this was Bentham's take on utilitarian ideas and social reforms and the role of the state. Hope you liked the video. Please do not forget to press the like button and subscribe to our channel. I will come back to you very soon. Till then, never stop learning and keep on exploring. Bye bye. See you soon.